Welcome back to my new video. So for those who have been following me or my journey with the Slash, you know that I'm trying to reach that 160 kilometers per hour with this setup, with the 150 amp ESC and the 1600 kV motor. So what I have is a Mod 1 spur pinion, which is 2738. This one is a plastic gear from the Revo, the nitro car that's from Traxxas, and this is a 27 tooth spur gear. The problem with this high center gravity chassis is that the motor cannot be fitted on top of the motor mount. In comparison to the low center gravity chassis, you can put the motor on top right here, because you don't have this brace right here, so you can fit a pinion gear that's as big as you want to. My problem now is this is the smallest spur gear that I can find, 38. It has been a while since I have been working on the Slash, or have driven it, except for last week when I worked on it and then took it out for a drift session and crashed it again. And that's why that's when this happened. But the new chassis plate is coming, probably next week if everything goes well. But I had a lot of time thinking about making the car faster. I am making it lighter. This one is 3 millimeters thick. The next chassis plate is going to be 2 millimeters thick. So that saves a little bit of weight. But then I thought maybe I can use a pinion gear as a spur gear, and then without slipper clutch. So I bought a slipper clutch eliminator. Maybe I can use this to fit it on the steel drive shaft that's running through the spur gear and the clutch. And I have several big pinions. This one is 38. Well, I have a spur gear of 38, so this one is out of the question. I have this 29 millimeter pinion gear with a 5 millimeter hole. And I have this 25 teeth pinion gear with a 8 millimeter hole. So I'm gonna try and fit one of these in there. Then I'm gonna see what the damage is on the rest of the car because of the crash. If there are any, I haven't checked it yet. Well, the chassis plate is done for, so that's gonna be thrown away and be replaced. Because I had the idea of my theory that lowering the weight of the car is not going to improve the top speed that much. Because the last time I did a decent speed run, I've hit 147 kilometers per hour. But that was with the wind in the back. A few days before, I did the same speed run, but then there were very heavy winds from the front. The difference in the wind direction compared to the car while speed running didn't make any difference in top speed. So I think the motor is running at top speed. So the only reason to go faster is to change the spur pinion. But I cannot put a bigger pinion, so it's going to be the spur. Or I'm going to have to change the motor for a higher kV rating. But then I'm going to abandon the journey to reach 160 kilometers per hour with this electronical setup, which I really want to reach with this setup. I mean, there are people on YouTube and they drive their Slash with the low center gravity chassis and with a big motor, high with a high kV rating with the motor on top with a big spur pinion combination, but I cannot do that, the big spur pinion combination, so I'm gonna have to be creative. What I can do is exchange the ESC. I still have a Castle Creations ESC that is from my original Emax. Damn, that's an old car. That's my first car. But that Castle Creations ESC that came in the Emax has data logging. So I can use that to see what the amps are that it is pulling. I think I'm gonna try that. I believe, but I'm not sure, that the Castle Creations ESC from the Emax is also 150 amps, just like this. So in theory, it should be exactly the same. So I'm going to try and exchange the spur gear with a pinion gear, and I'm going to exchange the ESC. So I have cracked the chassis while going for that drift session. I think the only reason why it is held together during the crash is because I had this aluminium motor mount. I'm not too happy about that. Then the diff in the rear is not running smoothly. Hopefully it just needs to be re-greased, so I'm gonna have to open that. For the spur pinion combination, let's see if I can fit a pinion gear on here. So these are all the parts in the correct order that make up for the slipper clutch and the spur gear. And this is the slipper clutch that I made myself. As you can see, it didn't slip. Well, this one doesn't fit, 8mm bore. This one fits like a glove. Now let's see if it is aligned with the pinion gear. This side, or maybe I need to switch up this pin. Let's check it out. It's not completely fastened, but it's in there, so it won't move. So let's see what the alignment is. Still need to put this one on there. So now let's check it out. This is great. I didn't expect the solution to be this easy. It can be aligned perfectly, the spur and the pinion, but the spur gear, which is a pinion, but the spur gear is touching the motor mount, so I'm gonna have to put some shims in there so it can be moved back a little bit like this, so it won't touch the motor mount. Then the alignment with the pinion gear is perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then we'll probably set a new personal, and then I will probably set a new personal best in top speed. So I have cut the pinion gear by hand. It allows for the spur gear to be placed further on the axle, and in that way I can place the spur gear into the slash without the spur gear scraping against the motor mount. So that's in there. It's not completely tight yet, but just for reference I am going to put it back in. That's a perfect alignment with the two gears. On this side the spur is sticking out a little bit, on this side also, so the pinion is in the middle, and there's a little bit more than 1 millimeter between the spur gear and the motor mount. So that's great. Now I can put this all back together. After mounting this the correct way, I'm gonna check the whole car. I'm not gonna show it to you guys again, because if you've seen my videos with the slash, then you know how I build it. So let's just skip to the speed run, right? So I've done a few speed runs with the new chassis plate, and I noticed that the slash is bouncing, and the front of the slash starts bouncing when I go faster than 130 kilometers per hour. And that's the reason why I aborted the speed runs time and time again. I have hit the top speed of 143 kilometers per hour, which is not a personal best, which is not the top speed of the slash as it is set up now with the new gearing. Theoretically, I presume that the slash is going about 175 kilometers per hour at top speed. Like I said, it starts to bounce at 130, 135, and I wonder why. The only thing that I have changed to the car, obviously the gearing and the chassis plate, which has a diffuser in the rear. So I'm going to look into the problem of the bouncing slash, and hopefully I will find a solution, work away the problem, and then do a new decent speed run, and hopefully set a new top speed around that 170 kilometers per hour mark. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one, and if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. See you in the next one.